Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce a man, many of whom you know. It is the chairman of the 2011 San Francisco Fleet Week Committee. This is Major General Myatt.
I have to move the microphone down. Welcome to you all. And before we start this, you know, in the Marine Corps, the Navy, and I worked for Bechtel, we always started every event talking about safety. And it struck me as I'm looking out on the water, the safety for this event. They do it every day, but it's so visible today to you all. Look at everywhere you look out there, there's Coast Guard vessels that are providing safety. I would just a special hand for the United States Coast Guard. I want to thank Commodore Nolan and the St. Francis Yacht Club. What an elegant place to have this for us to review the parade of ships. So thank you, Commodore Nolan and the St. Francis Yacht Club. Also, big hand, yes. Also, Fleet Week is something that we raise funds for to be able to do great things for sailors, Marines, and Coasties. And this particular event has been sponsored by the Bank of America, and I want to thank the Bank of America for sponsoring this today. We are blessed in this city to have a mayor that's very supportive of what we do here for Fleet Week, not just during the 1 week that we call Fleet Week, but at all times particularly supportive of the United States military and the United States Naval Services. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our mayor, the Honorable Edwin Lee.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, good morning. I too want to join all of you, and Anita and I have been our personal pleasure and honor to join all of you here at St. Francis Yacht Club to celebrate and welcome actually the fleet to Fleet Week. This is, of course, our 30th anniversary of our Fleet Week, and I know and I hope that the Senator Feinstein, who really helped restart this Fleet Week, is listening in. I really want to personally thank her for her leadership in doing this, and may God be with her as she's helping to really help run this country in these very, very hard times. You know, this 30th anniversary of our Fleet Week is very special for us. We have this year more Marines, more Navy personnel, more Coasties than we've ever seen before. And it is growing. And I think it's growing because we understand here in San Francisco, not only has this been a tradition, but it's also something that we cherish as being part of a great city in a great country. So I want to make sure that we understand that this has been and always will be our opportunity to honor the men and women in our military for their dedication and their devotion, and San Francisco will always carry on this tradition in the best way possible. Thank you for all of you for coming. As you also know, that this is also a celebration of the 100th anniversary of the very first naval aviation exercise to take place in 1911, right off this San Francisco Bay. And there's so much else to recognize. We have the return of the USS Carl Vinson. That's special for us because in 1984, then Mayor Feinstein had helped us celebrate and adopted the USS Carl Vinson as one of our own in San Francisco with its crew and with the ties that we had to that ship. We made it our own, so I want to welcome them back. I also want to make sure you know, too, that not only have our Navy personnel been so much a part of the tradition, but they have, through the USS Carl Vinson, shown their dedication by working with our local nonprofits, working with our communities, and bringing stronger community ties. In addition, we have, of course, our Blue Angels that will be appearing here later on, and that's something where Anita asked me, hey, what are these earplugs for? I also want to recognize and welcome our Consul General from Canada, and thank her for bringing down with us the Royal Navy and, of course, the Royal Air Force with its Snowbird connection with our Blue Angels. That's going to be a wonderful show this afternoon. Thank you very much for being here. And, of course, I want to recognize not only Senator Feinstein as one of our honorary co-chairs, but continuing in his capacity to serve our city so well. And that's our former Secretary of State, George Shultz. And Mrs. Shultz, thank you very much again for being here, for giving us your great support. You know, as we continue working on Fleet Week throughout the year, I wanted to just give a personal thanks to Admiral, the Third Fleet, Admiral Beaman, and all of the personnel from the different armed forces for being here, the Marines and the Navy, as well as the Coast Guard, for working with us not only to celebrate the tradition and recognize the persons in uniform, but for doing something very special. And this is something that I really continue to credit General Myatt for. You know, we've wanted to make sure Fleet Week touches all of the citizens of San Francisco. We found a way to do that. One of the most important things that we are doing in our city is getting better prepared for the next disaster. And as we do that, we recognize our military is the experts in logistics. Very simple, true recognition. And in recognizing that, and in recognizing that their expertise is the humanitarian assistance that they've done all over the world, that we can continue building on that very humanitarian assistance and that disaster preparedness that they know so much about. So it should not surprise you that the themes of our Fleet Weeks have evolved into disaster preparedness for the very one that we expect to happen here. It's not if, it will be when. And therefore, it is prudent upon us to make sure that our Fleet Week adds to its color and its tribute and its fun the very serious work of relationship building and exercises and anticipation of information sharing and movement of personnel and supplies, and practice those things with all of our different departments. So I want to thank you for doing that, General, for leading that effort. I want to thank the various departments that we have, the Port of San Francisco, our Public Works, our Recreation and Park Department, our San Francisco Airport, as well as, of course, our Police and Fire and our Department of Emergency Management and Safety. I want to, again, extend this welcome to you. Thank you very much for all of you being here, and as we salute the fleet of ships, to remind us all that we have a wonderful, wonderful armed services for our country, and I'm very proud of being the mayor of this city to celebrate this Fleet Week, to celebrate and give honor to all of our men and women in our armed forces. Thank you very much. And General, again, thank you for your great leadership on the Fleet Association, for all of our corporate sponsors and community sponsors as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You know, yesterday the mayor told me that he declared this Mike Myatt Day, but it was about 8 p.m. I said, why didn't you tell me yesterday morning? The day was almost over. No, we're really blessed to have two honorary co-chairs that really drive us, and I told people we get rudder orders from them too to keep us in the right direction. And Secretary Shultz has spoken at a number of events we've had this week. Senator Feinstein would be here speaking today, but it was not possible for her to be here, so the person that was with her when they created Fleet Week 30 years ago has a few remarks. I would like to have our Chief of Protocol, Charlotte Shultz, read something from Senator Feinstein. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning. What a beautiful day. Thank you, Mayor, for creating this. He's in charge of the weather and everything else. The bridge will be here soon. Is that right, Mayor? Yes. Some 31 years ago, I got a call. I was in the country with family, drinking wine, and I got a call from Diane Feinstein, who was the mayor at the time, and she's always working. It was a Saturday, and she said, Charlotte, I want you to be chairman of Fleet Week. And I said, what is Fleet Week? And she said, Charlotte, The Great White Fleet came through the bay, to the bay. In 1908, President Theodore Roosevelt sent them here, and the Great White Fleet was here. And I said, Diane, I wasn't here. And she said, Charlotte, this is serious. And I said, well, what is Fleet Week? She said, well, the ships come into the bay underneath the Golden Gate Bridge. The planes fly over. There are sailors, there are Marines, there are captains, there are admirals, there's generals. And I said, Diane, this is serious. And she said, Charlotte, this is serious. And I said, yeah, so many men, so little time. This is serious. So we know that Diane Feinstein has been serious about Fleet Week, as she has been in all of her jobs in leading this city and this country. And by serious, I mean that she has been supportive of Fleet Week through all of those years, whether she be in office, whether she be a citizen, or whether she be in the United States Senate. So she is very unhappy that she could not be here, but she's only one person, although at times I've thought she was quite a few. At any rate, she couldn't be here, and she has sent this letter and asked me to read it to you, and I'm delighted to do so. Dear friends, it gives me great pleasure to extend my warmest greetings to all of you who have gathered here for the 30th annual San Francisco Fleet Week. When I helped bring Fleet Week back to San Francisco during my time as mayor, I knew that it would be something special, a fantastic showcase for the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard in a city with a rich maritime and naval history. Since that time, San Francisco's Fleet Week has continued to honor our men and women in uniform, as well as provide an opportunity to demonstrate their expertise in humanitarian assistance and disaster response. I would like to welcome the visiting ships from both the America and Canadian fleets, particularly the USS Carl Vinson, which is returning to her home waters. I hope you enjoy your time here in San Francisco. As a United States Senator representing the state of California, please accept my best wishes for an enjoyable Fleet Week. Sincerely, Diane Feinstein, United States Senator. And I'm sure that she will be so proud of this year, and most especially its leadership by General Mayotte and the Mayor of San Francisco, Ed Lee. So thank you both very much, and all of the Marines and the sailors. Yeah!
Thank you, Charlotte. Representing all the military here for Fleet Week, we have the Commander of the U.S. 3rd Fleet, Vice Admiral GERALD BEAMAN. Admiral BEAMAN.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I must admit, the last few days have been very educational. We've learned a lot. One of the things I learned is there's an insurance company that has new low rates in California. But I have to tell you, it is a distinct honor and pleasure to be representing the United States 3rd Fleet here today. You will see some of our proud sailors and Marines pass by here in the not too distant future. But I too would like to thank a few people up front, Commodore Nolan and the staff of the San Francisco Yacht Club, Miss Sharon Maurer for her coordination, and I think she was responsible for that wonderful brunch that we had, and also Mr. Ron Banachek, who is the club manager, general operating officer for the club. So if you'll join me, I think they did a wonderful job for us. San Francisco Fleet Week is a great opportunity for both the Navy, Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard to display our wares, if you will, for those young men and women that have volunteered to serve their country, to tell their stories, to show you the things that they get to work with every day. And it's just a wonderful thing for us to be able to do that with this very heartwarming city of San Francisco and the entire Bay Area. There's more than 9,000 sailors, Marines, and Coast Guard men and women that are representing the three services up here this week. I think you will find, as you get a chance to get out and talk with the young sailors and Marines, that they are enthusiastic about their job. They're very proud of their job, and I apologize, I probably should have taken these off. the technology that they are working with today. Our society of young sailors, these 18, 19-year-olds, grew up with some sort of a gadget in their hand, as opposed to myself that have still to this day has no knowledge of how to work some of these games. But our technology that we now have on the ships is perfect. It's right in there, what we call wheelhouse, because it does afford them that ability. Much smarter young sailor and Marine today than what I first encountered just a few years ago. I was 12 when I joined. I've been in 34 years. So actually, the last few days, when I jokingly referred to it up front, we had a senior leadership seminar. Some of you took part in that. Some of you heard me speak last night, so I've tried to save some of my lines that I didn't use last night for today. But in all seriousness, the senior leadership seminar that we gathered, the community leaders, civic leaders, fire department, police department, heads of those individual departments, was a tremendous opportunity for us to help and continue to train. The mayor said it himself, it's not a matter of if, but to the people here, to you all, it's a matter of when. And as much as we want to be prepared, we hope that that's all we ever have to do is be prepared and not execute. But our exchanges during Fleet Week and even in between, the dialogue and the opportunities to exchange training evolutions will make us all a much better team, because that's what it's going to be if and when, apologize, not the if, when we all come together. We thank the City of San Francisco, the mayor, all the leaders for their wonderful hospitality. I tell people that they've opened their arms and in some cases their homes to our sailors and Marines, and it's a wonderful thing. I've been in this business 34 years and I still get goosebumps when I walk up on the flight deck or I walk in the passageways of our ships and get to rub shoulders with these young men and women that represent our services. I think it has kept me young. I like to think that anyway. But it's true. They do it not for great amounts of pay. They do it for love of their country and service, where they hold their country above themselves. You will see a parade of 13 ships here, and I think just in maybe 15 or 20 minutes of the first one is starting. Your city's namesake, well, not namesake, but your city's sponsored ship is just now approaching underneath the bridge, USS Carl Vinson. I can see her. I don't think that you all can just yet. But you'll see 5 ships from the United States Navy, 3 ships from the United States Coast Guard, and 4 ships from the Canada, I believe. Yes. I had a senior moment there. I apologize. Just when I said the sailors keep me young, I act my age. So I apologize for that. But again, you'll hear some loud noise as the ships come by. They're rendering a salute. In my mind, it's a salute to all of you for opening up your city to the United States Navy, the United States Marine Corps, and the United States Coast Guard. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and our brethren to the north, the Canadian Navy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Admiral Beaman. Appreciate that. Now I'm going to bring up our announcer, Lieutenant Galvin, and he's going to actually narrate this parade of ships for us. Lieutenant Galvin.
How in the world do you follow that lineup of people that was up here? There's really only one way that a lieutenant can do that, and we have a lieutenant from the Navy, and we've got a lieutenant from the Coast Guard, and we for sure have a lieutenant from the country of Canada. And we will begin to narrate this. We are so excited for the official start of today's festivities. There will be a rendering of honors with a 15-gun salute from the aircraft carrier, the USS Carl Vinson, to Vice Admiral Manson Brown.